Welcome back to the next guided practice with Mrs. Abel. All right, guys, today we're going to do 14.7. Now, once again, I'm going to remind you, you should have already watched the math movie before you are watching my video, because once again, that tells you and kind of gives you the idea of what we're doing, and then I'm going to help you understand just a little bit more. So please make sure that you have watched that. Today, you're going to need a paper and a pencil. And if you have one, a ruler with centimeters on it, but I understand if you don't, because remember, I can't find one anywhere. Now I'm going to have to make sure to go buy one if the stores open up again. So today we are on page 343, and our learning target is I can find the area of irregular shapes. Now you're going to see that I've already drawn something on my paper to kind of help us just for ease of time. Now, an irregular shape is something that is not your common square or rectangle. It's kind of like an L, or for instance, in the video, it's the U of that putting green. So today we're going to be working on how to find the area of irregular shapes. And this is also on Splash Math, so make sure that you're practicing that way. All right, here we go with number 1. And on this one here, we're just going to skip straight over to number 1 and get started. Whoa, sorry, it's so zoomed in. All right, for numbers 1 and 2, find the area of each figure. Now I'm going to zoom in even more on number 1 so we can get just a little bit better view. Now here is a shape. It is the shape of an L. The easiest way to figure out the area of an irregular shape is to break it into two separate shapes. For instance, I would draw a line right here, side to side, and then I will figure out the top part and then the bottom part and add them together. Now, if you would rather, you could cut it this way, long way up and down, and you could figure out the left and the right. All right, so we're going to pretend that there is a line right here. Now, when I write it, I'm going to write area equals, and I'm going to put my equation in parentheses. So I have 1, 2 across the top, 2 times 1, 2, 3. And that 2 times 3 is in parentheses with a plus sign. And don't worry, I'll show you in just 1 second. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 times 1, 2. Now, when you look at my paper, you're going to notice that I have my equation written like this. So the area is 2 times 3, which is the top part of the shape, and plus 5 times 2, which is the bottom part. So now I'm going to say 2 times 3 is 6, plus 5 times 2 is 10, and then when you add those together, my area equals 16. Let me see if there's a unit, because we got to make sure to write it. Oh, there is no unit, so I will say square units. And here is what my paper looks like. 16 square units. Remember, if something's in parentheses, you just do the operation that's inside of that. All right, now we're going to do number 2. Now I drew out number 2 because this one is a little bit harder because we have to use more of our brain to think about what some of the measurements that aren't marked are. For me, I would like to cut it side to side again. So I'm going to draw a dotted line right here that shows me right where I'm going to figure out the two different shapes. So I'm going to do the same thing where I'm going to have an equation with sets of parentheses inside. Now, if I know that this is 4 and this is 3, then I can just say 4 times 3. Now, but wait a minute, this one here doesn't have a measurement. And I have to figure out how long is this section right here. They say 6 times what? Because if I say 6 times 9, then I'm adding more of that square from up above. However, I know that if this whole thing right here is 9 centimeters, and this one here is 3, so 9 minus this 3 leaves how much left over? Good job. So that little spot right there is 6 centimeters. And then if I add it up, I can say 6 plus 3 is 9. Now, if you're one of the kids that wants to cut it up and down, that is fine also. However, you have to be careful because once again, there's an unmarked side. So if this whole thing is 6, and this is 4. How long is this little piece right there? Perfect. That one is 2 centimeters. All right, let's write down our formulas. So for the very top one, it's going to be area equals 4 times 3 in parentheses plus, parentheses again, 6 times 6. And that way I have both of my squares. I have 4 times 3 for up here, and I have 6 times 6 also. Okay, now, 4 times 3 is 12, and 6 times 6 is 36. So my area equals, good job, 48 square centimeters. And you know what? There are a lot of numbers involved in this. I am going to remember to circle my answer so I know what it is. And boys and girls, that is how we find the area of irregular shapes. You break it into smaller pieces and then you add it all together. Now when we go back to the book, if you have a ruler, you can, oh, I forgot about 3 and 4. But if you have a ruler, then you can try to measure this, but it might be hard because on the book it will be different. But let's look at number 3. This goes back all the way to the very first lesson that I taught you about to count the squares inside. So here it says estimate the area of each figure. So here we're not going to have an exact because there are little tiny little pieces all over. So let's see if we can count how many squares are inside. And this is where lots of you are kind of having a hard time. You've got to slow down and be precise. 1, 2, 3, 4. I'm going to count all my whole ones first. 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, and 13. So for number 3, I have 13. Now let's count all the little tiny pieces. Now we have, this is about a half. Wait, and this is about a half, so there's 1. And I would just say 1 plus 1. So I would say that it is about 14 square units. Sometimes it's hard, but since it's an estimate, we just have to be a little bit close. All right, number 4. This is where it's nice to have a paper because then you can write the numbers on it. So let's see, let's count all the whole ones, or almost wholes first. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16. So I'm writing that down. So 16 plus. Now these two make about a whole. Actually, these almost make, no, maybe these two. So 1, 2 is a whole. Actually, it's more of like here and here. Yeah, this is a tough one. So 1, 2. Let's say this is one whole. Probably all 3 of these together are about a whole. So 2, 3, and you know what? I wouldn't count those. So let's say plus 3. So it is about 19 square units. And once again, because it's an estimate, it just has to be close to, but not exactly. Great job following along today. All right, let's just do one more just to make sure that we understand. So I will go to the next page. As we are now on page 344 right here. Let's actually, what I would like to do is do number 14 with you guys. All right, this one says, think about the structure. Jared drew the figure to the right on grid paper, which is a way in which the figure could be divided to find the total area. So now we have to take what we've learned and figure out, okay, so how could we cut this shape? So we have to look at these are multiple choice. So can we say 6 times 4 plus 3 times 3? So in my mind, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Okay, so that's 6 times 4. So that's the area of this side right here, right over here. Then 3 times 3 is the area. 3 times 3 is the area of this one. Could he use a Yeah, he really could. That could be the answer. But before I choose it, I'm going to make sure the others don't make sense. All right. B, 6 times 4 plus 6 times 3. Well, I don't even see a 6 times 3 array anywhere, so that one does not make sense. And here it is again, a 6 times 3. That does not make sense because this little section is only a 3 times 3. Now, 6 times 7 minus 4 times 3. 6 times 7. Let's see here. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. So that would be going 6 times 7 all the way across minus 4 times 3, which I don't even see that in here anywhere. I don't think that could work. I think the answer is A. Good job, you guys. All right, so today I would love to see you finish up the independent practice and kind of trying to remember sometimes that the problem solving questions can be a little bit harder using everything that you know. And sometimes you just have to slow down and make sure that you're being very, very precise. All right, guys, great job today. Please, once again, if you need any help, please call me or contact me, email, send me a dojo, and I will call you or I will do a Zoom so that I can help you with your math. Boys and girls, have a fabulous day, and I'll see you again soon.